Hello and welcome. Today we're going to load a roll of film into a Pentax Spotmatic 35mm SLR camera. Let's see here. First thing to notice is that the Spotmatic is a completely mechanical camera which requires a battery only for the light meter. So, as you'll see, this particular camera right here does not have a battery inside. I can remove the battery section, remove the battery cover here, and you can see inside empty. So again, completely mechanical camera, does not require a battery. A lot of these old cameras don't have functioning light meters anyway and are nonetheless perfectly usable. So secondly, this Spotmatic happens to be a black body Spotmatic 2. So you see this part of the camera here is black, the top cover is black, the bottom cover is black. Most cameras of this model had a chrome top and bottom cover. So if yours is chrome, that's fine, it's no big deal. Also, this is a Spotmatic 2. You see the Roman numeral 2 there. The procedure I'm going to show you should be the same for all mechanical Spotmatic models, including if your camera says SP or SPF or SP1000 or SP500, the procedure I'm about to show you should be the same. Before we start the load of the film, let's take a look at what do we do to unload the film. So as you're shooting, eventually you're going to get to the end of the roll and you'll see the frame counter will get close to 36, which is assuming you have a 36 exposure roll. When that happens, be mindful that eventually you will take a shot and the advance lever will not advance all the way. You're going to feel some resistance. At that point, stop. Do not force the lever. Otherwise, you could break the film or rip the film or otherwise damage the mechanism. So don't do that. Instead, turn the camera over, press this button right here. This button will disengage the mechanism which prevents the film from running backwards so that you can rewind the film from the take-up spool, which is located over here, back into the film canister, which is located over here behind the back of the camera, which I'll show you in just a moment. Push that button here, then you deploy the rewind crank like so. Where's the doggone thing? You deploy the rewind crank, here it is, like so, and you'll notice this arrow, which indicates the direction that you're supposed to turn the crank, clockwise. And you continue turning the crank until you feel the film release. You will feel it release. There will be a definite tactile sensation when the film releases from the take-up spool. The lever will turn much more easily, and you'll know that at that point the film is rewound back into the canister, and you can remove the film. And you do that by opening the back of the camera. On this model, like many cameras of the period, you simply pull up on the rewind knob to open the back of the camera like so. And there we go. Okay, so now you can open the back of the camera and rewind and remove the film cartridge. Okay, to load the film, we start with a roll of 35mm film. Here we have some Ilford FP4. And we're going to open the back of the camera, as I showed you before. Pull up on the, here we go. That opens the back of the camera. Now, inside the camera, you will see, do not do what I'm doing right here. Excuse me, looks like a little bit of hair right here. Be very careful. Inside the camera, do not do this. Do not put any sharp object anywhere near the camera. I'm doing this for demonstration purposes only. This right here is the shutter on the Pentax Spotmatic. The shutter is rubberized cloth. It is very delicate. Don't touch it with anything ever, under any circumstances. Keep your fingers away. Keep all objects away. Don't touch the shutter. Here is where you're going to put the film canister, and this right here is called the take-up spool. So, first thing we're going to do is look for the slot in the take-up spool. There should be a slot right here. We go. You see the slot? There's a slot. Keep turning. You should see there's another slot. Okay, so we're going to take film, insert this little piece of film here. This part is called the leader. And you're going to insert the leader into the slit over here. And make sure that catches. And then as you lay the film across the back of the camera, you want the gear teeth on this mechanism, on this sprocket mechanism here, to mate with the perforation holes in the film. As you pull it across, put it in this side of the camera. Notice that this needs to be up and out of the way, so that you can load the, so you can put the film canister there. Let's demonstrate that. Hold on. Excuse me. Let's remove this. Hold on a second. Yeah. So, what I want to show you is that, here we go. So, over on this side, this fork mechanism is going to mate with this part, a little, you'll see down in the top part of this, the film canister right here, so that it can rewind properly when the film is finished. In order to load the film, you need to pull this up and out of the way. So that's got to be up and out of the way, so we can put our film in here, there. Now, again, we can put the end of the leader into the slot. You'll see on the bottom of the take-up spool, this edge is serrated. It's serrated for a reason, so you can get a good grip on there and turn it this way, like so. Make sure that there. Now, I can see the leader is now inserted into the slot. The gear teeth on this sprocket, I think that's a sprocket, I think that's what that thing's called. The gear teeth on this mechanism are protruding through the perforations, which is just as I want it. You see the film is lying flat. Well, it's actually not lying perfectly flat. Put your thumb on the film canister here. Gently rotate this knob in this direction. It's going to take up any slack in the film canister. And here we go. You see that? It's going to pull down. It's going to pull the film flat across the back of the camera, like so. So you want the film flat across the back of the camera. These two chrome strips are called guide rails. You want the film to lie evenly and flat between the guide rails. So there we go. Film is flat against the guide rails. The leader is securely fastened inside the take-up spool. The perforations are mating properly with the gears. So now I'm going to close the back of the camera. Okay, so what we have now inside the camera is the film, which is outside the canister, has been exposed to light. It's no good. You can't take pictures on it. So we need to advance the camera about 2 frames to get that film out of the way. So, and as we advance, you should see this turn. If the film is properly mounted on is properly connected to the take-up spool, you should see this rotate in the direction of that arrow as I fire. Excuse me. Here we go. Here we go. See that? So, release the shutter. There we go. And that's turning. And that turns again. Release the shutter. There you go. Whoops. Excuse me. Actually, on the Spotmatic, if you lose purchase on the advanced lever and it slips out of your finger and you don't before advancing it properly, this particular camera will ratchet, so you can ratchet the film. You can advance the film either in one smooth stroke or you can ratchet the film. Either way works just fine. All right, so now we have our film loaded properly into the camera. If you have a functioning light meter, make sure to set the ISO or ASA. Back then it was called ASA. And you do that by lifting this ring here and you turn it until the number of the film's ISO or your preferred exposure index appears in the window. Obviously, as I said and as I showed you before, this camera does not have a battery in it, so this step is irrelevant. It's only relevant if you have a properly functioning light meter and a battery. So, very good. All right, we are good to go. Hope you found that useful. Take care now. Bye-bye.